Yes, what's on your mind? You got it.
The Force has given us a vision, like the one we shared on Dantooine. Did you see it? Of course. You must have. The Force is strong with us both. Tatooine is known for little but blowing sand. I find it surprising that there would be a star map somewhere in its desolate wastes. Perhaps, though that would have been tens of thousands of years in the past. Now there's nothing but the howling emptiness of the Dune Sea. The star map would likely have to be within some kind of shelter to protect it against dust and sandstorms. I suspect there are many such caves and caverns hidden in the sands of the Dune Sea. The creatures of this world probably use them as their lairs. No doubt things will become more clear once we discover the star map's location.
Yes, what's on your mind? You got it.
Welcome to Anchorhead, potential customer. Zerka Corporation stands ready to serve. After some formalities, of course. First, your ship is not on our list of planned arrivals for today. There is a docking fee of 100 credits because of this. The immediate benefit is access to these very docking facilities. This is the only port in Anchorhead. Once you've paid, we will offer trade services as well. We're not unreasonable, we just want to cover expenses. I assure you that the fee is non-negotiable. We have a very thin margin of profit on this world. That does make sense. I suppose I could let it go this time. We need the business. This will cover any future landings as well. It's like a registration, so we can serve you better when you return. Now, as a customs officer, I can provide information on services. Is this visit business or pleasure? There isn't much to tell. It's a very old planet, well past its prime. Zerka Corporation is the only company with any interest in it. It's not a very pretty world, but there is opportunity here if you know where to look. I can't really get into that. It hasn't been a very smooth operation. I shouldn't get into it. It's common knowledge, so there's no harm in telling you. It's a tale of bad business. You see, Zerka Corporation staked their claim to this planet based on some very promising geological surveys. Unfortunately, that information was incorrect, and possibly even an attempt at sabotage by a rival company. Not totally barren. There were a few good years of mining, and limited operations are still in place. But the ore is flawed. It has peculiar properties. They've had to look at other forms of business. Zerka Corporation has really tried to hide this, but it just seems that Tatooine metal is unfit for effective manufacturing. I would imagine that this outpost will eventually be abandoned. Nobody is making any money here. Of course, this rock may have been settled a few times, so look for some other company to get stuck with it. Pursuits that appeal to the casual traveler. There are some fearsome native species that provide exciting hunting. There are also lengthy barren wastes that serve as fine swoop tracks. Attracting business has been slow, however. Very little. There are hints that it might once have been a lush world, but I can't picture it as anything but a desert. Native sentient species have no records going back that far. That was hundreds of years ago, maybe thousands. Of course, the native species are not very willing to tell anyone anything. They're barely more than animals. The Sand People. They're vicious and attack outsiders on sight. More animals than anything, really. Maybe they know the history of Tatooine. Maybe they don't. Impossible to tell. They won't cooperate. Not personally, but they've given Zerka Corporation a rough time. It's hard enough mining this rock without suffering random attacks. I think the company has even put a bounty on them, but I'm sure not going to try for it. It depends on what level of risk you want to take. You could ask at the Zerka office if any bounties need collecting. That's in the central anchorhead. While you're at the office, ask for a hunting license so you can sell trophies to Faza in his lodge, just north of them. I suppose you could also take up swoop racing. Talk to the hut at the registration office by the track. That's in West Anchorhead. I can't say I know which of these jobs is the most dangerous. I stay away from all of them. That's not much information. Could you tell me more? You a digger? I've heard of ruins being found now and then, but they've always been stripped by Sand People soon after. You're not going to get anywhere with them. I guess you could ask around, but I doubt you'll learn anything different. You could always ask a Jawa. It's hard to tell what they know. As you wish. If you need anything else, I'll be here.
Uchua penki, tang itwama ji human ak in ikatune, chi itakangki chana kilikon, chiwa itakangki baba Hassan shan, no ba mulira tilai kunka, ki mulira kunkin, tong hitwama ak inkotune. Achua penki. Yun patisa, ichuba jikotka naga, kingumwa mulira dwana, kimba ni chalora kun. Baba Hassan shan, no ba mulira tilai kuka, chiwi aita ka chong chicha, agi inko tune chuna mulira, tangi wama jikona, Tongkit pa nongkunek abog chiwa aita kang kichana chupornibo. Kun muli ras nimo poiwangak tong itwamaji human act ikatune. Chiwi aita ka chong chicha. Agi inko tune chuna muli ra tong itwamaji kona. Tongkit pa nongkunek abog chiwa aita kang kichana chupornibo. Kun muli ras nimo poiwangak tong itwamaji human act ikatune chiwi aita ka chong chicha. Agi inko tune chuna muli ra tong itwamaji kona. Tongkit pa nongkunek abog Baba Hassan shan. No ba muli ra tilay kuka. Ki muli ra kun king. Tong hitwama ak inko tune. Chiwa aita kang kicha na chupornibo. Kun muli ras nimo poiwangak tong itwamaji human act ikatune. Baba Hassan shan. No ba muli ra tilay kuka. Chiwi aita ka chong chicha. Agi inko tune chuna muli ra tong itwamaji kona. Tongkit pa nongkunek abog Ki muli ra Chiwa aita kang kicha na chupornibo. Kun muli ras nimo poiwangak tong itwamaji human act ikatune. Chiwi aita ka chong chicha. Agi inko tune chuna muli ra tong itwamaji kona. Tongkit pa nongkunek abog Smilia! Tingkuin ko ka! Patoga yak fuli ko kala, Gigi!
Papuelta, Call of Duty Van Reboot, Ikelti Remote. Punta sa shelfa, Ufta del Cliff, Call of Duty. Papuelta, Call of Duty Van Reboot, Ikelti Remote. Papuelta. Call of Duty Van Reboot, Ikelti Remote, Dustadan Gelfa, Hoisidan Gelfa, Udentuf Lag Van Nibo Gelfa, Hoisidan Gelfa, Badinogan Gelfa, Papuelta. Call of Duty Van Reboot, Ikelti Remote.
How can I help? Yes, I suppose I can understand your curiosity, given the bond that connects us. Very well. I'll tell you a bit about myself. I was found to be strong with the Force at a young age, as most Padawans are. As a girl, I was given to the Order to be trained. When I joined the Order, I left my family on Tal Ravan, as all Padawans do. My family is still there, the last that I heard. I've had little contact with them, as it is discouraged. Relationships with family members are fraught with powerful emotions. Such extremes are to be avoided. Anger and hate are the worst, but even love can lead to folly. Emotional entanglements can be dangerous. They can impair rational thought. They can lead to outbursts of uncontrolled emotion. A Jedi must be above such things. Like all who join the Order, I have learned to embrace the life I've chosen. I had to let go of my attachments to my family. It can be a hard lesson to learn. I was not on good terms with all of my family, but I do remember missing my father terribly for a long time. I was not on good terms with my mother. I was only a little girl when I left, but I was old enough to resent her and the way she treated my father. She pushed my father into treasure hunting. I spent all my young life on ships, traveling from one false lead to the next. She whittled away my father's entire fortune, and I hated her for it. I think she was relieved to give me to the Jedi, but my father was heartbroken. A child is too young to understand the sacrifices that must be made. It's better if they have no contact with their family once they're removed. Once I was older, I realized the wisdom of this policy. A Jedi must do what is needed, personal desires notwithstanding. Love can only obscure and confuse the matter. Even a Jedi cannot always control the feelings of the heart. We must do our best to guard against it, no matter what the cost. But some sacrifices are harder than others. I do not wish to discuss this anymore. I would rather return to our mission. How can I help? Then I suggest we move on. How can I help? I do. I've been watching you, studying you closely to see what kind of progress you've made since your training at the hands of Master Zar. You never give up, do you? I admit, I'm interested in you. I find you intriguing, compelling even, but it's not what you think. You have a great gift. You have an awesome command of the Force, and I tremble when I think of how you might misuse it. What? No, of course not. Not like that, anyway. In many ways, you are dangerous. You could be the savior of the galaxy, or you could bring untold destruction upon us all. I've seen how you've resisted many temptations and continue to walk the path of the light side. Very commendable. But I'm afraid you might stray from this path. You need to see what the dark side represents in its entirety. For it is what we battle. Only the wisdom of a Jedi Master can truly explain this. But I will do my best to make you understand. The dark side is not simply giving in to anger, temptation, or to use the Force to destructive ends. These things only lead to the dark side. The dark side grows stronger and more insidious the closer you draw to it. It begs you to surrender to it, to release all its terrible power, and it becomes harder and harder to resist. And once you stop resisting, it's too late. It twists you up inside and turns you into a mockery of everything you once stood for. I am no less resistant to temptation than any other. I simply have the benefit of training that you do not. But even the training of the Jedi might not be enough to save us. We need only to look at the atrocities which have been committed by those under its sway to understand the terrible, corrupting evil of the dark side. Millions dead, and far more suffering. What sort of person would you have to become to perform such deeds gladly? One who serves the light does not strike down an innocent. We take arms against the dark side and the injustice that follows it only. It's so easy to think that we would never fall prey to such a horror, that we have unlimited control, vigilance, and foresight. If only that were true. The Sith have become powerful because there are many Jedi who've succumbed to the lure of the dark side and joined their cause. What greater weapon is there than to turn an enemy to your cause? to use their own knowledge against them. We are weakened while they are strengthened, so we must harden our hearts and do whatever is required to fight against the dark side, even when the battle becomes wearying. I don't know. The vision of our future is clouded by shadows cast from the dark side, but I sense something ominous lurking in those shadows. But words alone cannot save one from the dark side. Come, we should continue with the task at hand. When the time comes, I only hope we are all strong enough to do what we must. How can I help? Tatooine is a dry planet that has not been inhabited long and has little law. This town of Anchorhead may be its only settlement. Beyond that, there is little else I can tell you. Then I suggest we move on.
Yeah, what do you want? Tatooine is one big desert with rocks sticking out. I heard that some of my people came here after the war, but I don't know what happened to them. The world of my clan, Ordo, was much like this. Dust basins and rock crags. But my world at least has some green around the equator. This place is just sand all over. There are some vicious people on this world, but the desert is the real enemy. Trips out in the desert, especially the deep desert, should be taken very carefully. You have anything else you want to ask? Your choice.
Yes, what's on your mind? I'm not really sure, but you can figure it out on your own, can't you?
How can I help? Why? I could not accomplish this on my own. I need the aid of others, especially one who is strong in the Force. The bond between us made you a natural choice. Besides, the events on Taris prove that the Force wanted to bring us together for this mission. And there is little left to chance when the Force is involved. Is that not enough for you? I said we were brought together for our mission, to stop Malak. I hardly think the Force would be pushing us toward a romantic involvement when the fate of the galaxy is at stake. Please try to stay focused. I doubt the Council would approve if they knew we were busy discussing our mutual attraction when we should be saving the galaxy from Malak. Mutual attraction? I never said... It's just an expression. Whatever our feelings... whatever your feelings, you have to try to ignore them. Don't let this complicate things. Finding the missing pieces of the star maps is our only hope of locating the Star Forge and defeating Malak. The Council explained all this quite clearly. I admit, there were times that I wondered if this is more than just a mission to stop Malak. There were times when I wondered if this was also a way for the Council to test my own abilities. I wondered if the Council wanted to see how I would help and guide you on our quest. I wondered if they were testing me to see if I was ready to become a Jedi Master myself. And then I realized how foolish such thoughts were. As the Council explained, sending a Master in our group would only have drawn unwanted attention from the Sith. The fate of the galaxy is at stake. The Council would not risk it merely to test me. They calculated the risks, and in the end chose the only option available. You must learn to trust in the wisdom of the Council. Your destiny will come when its appointed time. You mustn't be so impatient. Must you be so frustrating? I admit, I had a moment of foolish pride, but I'm over it. Now I am focused on my true responsibilities. I'm simply trying to help you and complete this mission, and yet you battle me at every turn. Fun? Fun? Driving me insane is your idea of a good time? You are a very odd man. Do you know that? I simply don't know how to deal with you. All I want to do is help you, but you seem determined to drive me mad. I don't know if I should be outraged that you keep joking about serious matters, or if I should be grateful that you can always lighten the mood. Come on, come, let's move on. There's much to be done. How can I help? I wish I could help you with that.
Genchopa chawi tikchok twis yun kun. Watuyama kama wona henak nek. Bugra shak kunti chiwa chawa. Dong abuk shami nonok.
I'm Bastila, yes. I take it that you know my mother.
Bona na kachu. Kicha badwang. Wanga kum kiba bu mulera. Kakin chak nawagawa bakon. Donk kiba nukunek. Tanga buk sha nong.
Is there something I can do for you, miss? As you can see, we're in quite a hurry.
Kakin cha na kwat na bon kon. Wanakumbes chi pala mulek. Tonki pa nagnonek. Tu nikton chun ke nemolek rabest. Wuf mala nibo kurk.
My mother's condition?
Ti umpa do punta krita. Ak ti kondo ona chaba chisa wanki. Ti toki grantu kon chichan kun green kanchan tu pro. Bok wala no bok cha. Nichi kun chuva kin lorta ikakun.
I've not seen my mother since I joined the Order. Do you know what's happened? Did you say anything about my father?
Genchopa chawi tikchok twis yun kun. Watuyama kama wona henak nek. Bugra shak kunti chiwa chawa. Dong abuk shami nonok.
I see. Where did you meet her? Do you remember?
Chika ton mulaka watayuma ka wamahona nek. Ashantington unumani patoka. Wana kuna best chinga pala multonki.
Part of me would rather not see her at all. But if she is really sick, well, we shall see. Please, will you help me? I have nothing left.
Oh, thank you. I don't have anywhere else to turn. If you're down and out on Tatooine, you're on your own. My husband was a hunter, killed out on the dunes. This raid plate is all I have left. Please, will you buy it? I don't need a handout. I just can't sell it to Faza without a license. Please, I'm worried about having it. They're so rare. It's the bone plate from the head of the desert raid. My husband was so proud when he found it. He had just started hunting. He said he felt sure the next hunt would bring in more, so we waited to sell this one. Then he never came back. Will you buy it? I can't sell it myself. They are worth more than 500 credits. You will? Oh, thank you so much. Please, I know it's worth at least 500 credits. $700 credits. Oh, thank you. It is more than generous of you. I don't know what to say. I just don't.
Wow. Sometimes helping people feels pretty good, you know?
Thank you for helping this woman. It may not seem like such a great thing to you, but you are making a difference.
For whatever it means, may the Force be with you. You've saved us.
Ciao baso. Gino molirani bubo. Tonkin ba. Loku netsag. Chiwi aita ka chong chicha. Agi inko tune. Chuna molira. Tangi mama jiko na. Tongki pa nonku nek abog. Chiwa aita kan kicha na. Chupornibo. Kun muliras nino poiwanga tangi tuamaji human act in ikatune. Chiwi aita ka tong chicha. Agi inko tune chuna mulira tangi tuamaji kona. Tongki pa nonku nek abog. Chiwa aita kan kicha na chupornibo. Kun muliras nimo poiwanga tangi tuamaji human act in ikatune. Baba Hassan-shan. No ba mulira jilai kuka. Chiwi aita ka tong chicha. Agi inko tune chuna mulira tangi tuamaji kona. Tongki pa nonku nek abog. Chiwa aita kan kicha na chupornibo. Kun muliras nimo poiwanga tangi tuamaji human act in ikatune. Chiwi aita ka tong chicha. Agi inko tune chuna mulira tangi tuamaji kona. Tongki pa nonku nek abog. Chiwa aita kan kicha na chupornibo. Kun muliras nimo poiwanga tangi tuamaji human act in ikatune. Baba Hassan-shan. No ba mulira jilai kuka.
Ako ba, Jeko ba? Gino mulira king paita, kislimo po tuama? Mucho siyak pakat. Kiyeno no namapaule rachikun. Takom jus tak miki grabal mogo. Kachi ita hodunga. Jedo badawana ni di bobo. Tong nabungsha nununya. Tong patukas magtalea. Tolpa da pongwale gato no kuchuchut. Kabadum ku pelio botenya. Bonanay kuchu. Hawaga boska chokola. Mucha shag pangka. Jedo badawana ni di bobo. Tong nabungsha nununya. Tong patukas magtalea. Kachikun ita hodonga. Iking kuno pamulera chikun. Slimo podo na rundi hodonga kun kabe. Takom jus tak miki grabal mogo. Kachi ita hodonga. Jedo badawana ni di bobo. Tong nabungsha nununya. Tong patukas magtalea. Mucho siyak pakat. Kiyeno no namapaule rachikun. Jedo badawana ni di bobo. Tong nabungsha nununya. Tong patukas magtalea. Ako ba, Jeko ba? Gino mulira king paita, kislimo po tuama? Jedo badawana ni di bobo. Tong nabungsha nununya. Tong patukas magtalea. Takom jus tak miki grabal mogo. Kachi ita hodunga. Mucho siyak pakat. Kiyeno no namapaule rachikun. Jedo badawana ni di bobo. Tong nabungsha nununya. Tong patukas magtalea. Mucho siyak pakat. Kiyeno no namapaule rachikun. Jedo badawana ni di bobo. Dong nabung siya nunong niya. Dong patukas magtalea. Takom jus dak miki grabal mogo. Kachi ita hodunga. Jeda badawana ni dibobo. Dong nabung siya nunong niya. Dong patukas magtalea. Mucho siya pakat. Kieno no namapaole rachikun. Takom jus dak miki grabal mogo. Kachi ita hodunga. Jeda badawana ni dibobo. Dong nabung siya nunong niya. Dong patukas magtalea. Mucho siya pakat. Kieno no namapaole rachikun. Takom jus dak miki grabal mogo. Kachi ita hodunga. Jeda badawana ni dibobo. Dong nabung siya nunong niya. Dong patukas magtalea. Mucho siya pakat. Kieno no namapaole rachikun. Takom jus dak miki grabal mogo. Kachi ita hodunga. Jeda badawana ni dibobo. Dong nabung siya nunong niya. Dong patukas magtalea.
Abuela, Colo, Luz, Ivan, Rebut, Miguel y Rimo, Juntas da Shelfa, Ufta del Chief, Colo, Luz, Abuela, Colo, Luz, Ivan, Rebut, Miguel y Rimo, Rolo, Antibian, Rolupio. Abuela, Colo, Luz, Ivan, Rebut, Miguel y Rimo. Juntas da Shelfa, Ufta del Chief, Colo, Luz, Abuela, Colo, Luz, Ivan, Rebut, Miguel y Rimo. Juntas da Shelfa, Ufta del Chief, Colo, Luz, Abuela, Colo, Luz, Ivan, Rebut, Miguel y Rimo. Abuela, Colo, Luz, Ivan, Rebut, Miguel y Rimo. Juntas da Shelfa, Ufta del Chief, Colo, Luz, Abuela, Colo, Luz, Ivan, Rebut, Miguel y Rimo. Juntas da Shelfa, Ufta del Chief, Colo, Luz, Abuela, Colo, Luz, Ivan, Rebut, Miguel y Rimo. Juntas, Ufta del Chief, Juntas da Shelfa. Juntas, Ufta del Chief, Juntas da Shelfa. Juntas, Ufta del Chief, Juntas da Shelfa. Juntas da Shelfa, Ufta del Chief, Colo, Luz, Juntas, Ufta del Chief, Juntas da Shelfa. Abuela, Colo, Luz, Ivan, Rebut, Miguel y Rimo. Juntas da Shelfa, Ufta del Chief, Colo, Luz, Juntas, Ufta del Chief, Juntas da Shelfa. Abuela, Colo, Luz, Ivan, Rebut, Miguel y Rimo.